is almost complete.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Always get your to-go with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Lakers basketball is a final.
877-710 ESPN.
Bye-bye Nuggets.
Game 4 of the NBA Finals is in the books.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off now.
Here's Allen Sliwa.
Laker fans, I hope you remember what it's like to be incredibly stressed in the playoffs, in the postseason, and in the NBA Finals. Lakers over the Miami Heat, 102-96. What a win for the Los Angeles Lakers. What a great feeling for Laker fans out there. Of course, this team, the organization, just a big-time game. And, I know it's not pretty. They're not always supposed to be pretty. This is a very low-scoring game. The Miami Heat just continue to fight, but the Lakers won it on the defensive side. The Lakers found ways at the end. I mean, it was back and forth. If you really look at the highlights of this game, every time the Lakers needed a big bucket, they got one. The question was, who was going to hit it? Was it AD? Was it LeBron James? Was it KCP? Was it Rajon Rondo? And it wasn't even just the fourth quarter stretch that I'm referring to. There were big shots in the first half. There were big shots in the third quarter. There were some plays from the Miami Heat, even the Heat. Tyler Hero had a couple big shots, but they had some random. Duncan Robinson banked in a 3. It kind of kept the Miami Heat there. I thought the Lakers were so good defensively and battled. And I could go down a list of players that contributed tonight. I can, of course, highlight Anthony Davis's 4 block shots for the Los Angeles Lakers and his steal and how big he was on the defensive side for the Lakers. And he did shoot 50% from the field, 8 of 16. I can talk about LeBron James and his 28 points, 8 assists, 12 rebounds, getting to the free throw line 12 times, going 10 of 12, and of course the 8 of 16 field goals. But those two superstars, we know how they're going to impact the game on a night-in, night-out basis. What I don't get that opportunity to do on a regular basis is talk about Danny Green, KCP, Markieff Morris, Kyle Kuzma, Rajon Rondo, and Alex Caruso. Actually, I take that back because I do spend some time talking about Rondo because he's been so consistent for the Los Angeles Lakers. So we got a great postgame show coming up. We got a ton of calls that I want to get to in tonight's postgame show. Let me give out the number here real quick. 877-710-ESPN on this Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show. We'll hear from players, we'll hear from coaches, but let's not waste any time. Let's go to the phone lines and let's get Los Angeles Laker fans your reaction on this big win from the Lakers, 102-96, and now one freaking win away from championship number 17. Let's start with Eric in L.A. Eric, thank you for calling into the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, good move putting AD on Butler because Butler wanted no part of AD, and AD's defense was huge tonight.
And Eric, just to say another thing, it wasn't just you had AD and LeBron kind of rotating on Jimmy Butler, but this time there was no switching. It was go through the screen and make Jimmy Butler score on the Lakers bigs.
Yeah, well, and it just makes me want to pose a question where that intensity was from AD last game. But I digress because my burning question, Allen, is what happened to our half-court offense, man? All of a sudden, when Miami decides to go man-to-man, the Lakers forgot to run the half-court offense properly. I mean, do we really need LeBron James to dribble the ball for 10, 15 seconds and settle for a 32-foot point jump shot?
Probably not the best game plan. Eric, I appreciate you calling in. Let me answer it, and then I want to get to some of these other calls. I'll tell you this. There were times Lakers looked lost on offense. Also times Lakers looked tired on offense. Every time AD tried to post up, 2 guys were on him. I did like how they started posting up LeBron James and forced the Miami Heat. Okay, well, we got one of the best passers in the entire NBA, in the history of the NBA. If you're going to score, or you're going to actually use LeBron as kind of a dual threat, offense was not all that great, but I want to give Miami some credit here on the defensive side as well. They had a good defensive game plan as well. Let's go to Dan in Santa Ana. Dan, appreciate you calling in, man.
Hey, how's it going, Alan?
Good, Dan. Much better now. Much better now.
And I just want to say, just like you, KCP today was our MVP. So let's get one more game, wear our jerseys, and let's get it for the Mamba. All right? Peace out. Go Lakers.
Dan, appreciate you calling in. How about that? I better get a ton of calls tonight talking about KCP. Give KCP some love. By the way, there's been a lot of times, too, where we're so quick to analyze players and criticize them and everything else. 27 bench points from the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. Danny Green and KCP combined for 25 points, shoot 50% from the field. And then the Lakers' defense just absolutely everywhere all night tonight. Luke in Woodland Hills. Luke, I appreciate you calling in. Go ahead, bud. Luke, you there? All right, let's go to Solomon in Lake Balboa. Solomon, thank you for calling in.
Hey, Alan, thanks for taking my call. Listen, I'm not crowning them champions yet.
I agree.
Still don't have those 4 games. However, tonight, that was a championship performance, and I'll tell you why. Because those clutch plays, the defense, the offense, your supporting cast, your star players, that's what championship teams do. They come through in a game like this, and they win games like this. The losers, that's why they're not champions. So I was very proud of the Lakers tonight, and give Miami credit. They're still down one of their best players, and they give the Lakers everything they can handle.
Well, Solomon, I'll say this, and I appreciate you calling into the Pizza Hut Lakers post-game show. Lakers have had games like this. Look back in Lakers history, and it might be ugly. You guys remember the game. It was a critical game and against the Phoenix Suns back in 2010, and Meta got a Meta World Peace got a miss off of Kobe's shot and just found a way to Lakers scratch a win. Remember Game 6 against the Oklahoma City Thunder where Pau Gasol had the tip in. Sometimes it just doesn't have to be pretty, but all you're trying to do is just add one more win to the series. If this series tied 2 apiece after tonight's game, this is definitely going to be a dogfight, and it's still going to be a dogfight. You got to end up with 4 wins, but it's got to also be demoralizing for the Miami Heat. They play the way they did, and it was a close game, and Lakers find a way to get it in the end. Luke in Woodland Hills. Luke, go ahead, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Hey, Alan, thanks for taking my call.
You got it, man.
Hey, so I just wanted to mention one thing about those role players. So, I don't think Caruso and Rondo get enough credit for what they do on the offensive glass. Those guys, I think they both had 2 each. And then when you get those second chance opportunities and you kick it out, get a 3, it's just so demoralizing for a defense. So I think that was huge for us. And, they weren't showing a lot of effort on the glass in the first half. So when they came through in the second, it was nice to see. Well,
no, you're right there, Luke. They crashed the board on a lot of those threes that the Lakers were taking. LeBron had some threes from distance, and you had some of your guards. I'll tell you one thing about Alex Caruso. One thing you never got to worry about with this guy, effort's 110% all the time. He's flying around, he's throwing his body all over the place. He's getting fouled, and they're not giving him any calls. But Laker fans, obviously understand and respect what he's doing on a night-in, night-out basis. Good call so far. Look at Laker fans coming through. 3-1. All of a sudden, the calls are the best we've had all year. DJ in L.A., go ahead, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Thank you, Alan. How are you?
Good, man. Doing good. Much better when it's 3-1.
Yeah, I know, man. It was a big difference through their participation tonight, It was a bigger difference from Game 3 than Game 4.
Oh, it was, DJ, and I appreciate you calling in, but it was it was night and day on the defensive side, just on the defensive side. Like that's the thing that I always want to focus on with this Los Angeles Lakers team. Offense, yes, sometimes you could put up 125 points, but when you got to get stops and you need to get stops, that's how you're going to win a game. And we've seen this. This Lakers team, I talked about Jimmy Butler in the pregame show with Michael Thompson. Yes, it was an unbelievable game he had in Game 3, but Lakers defensively, how you letting one guy beat you like that? Lakers made their adjustments and obviously came through in this Game 4. Want to give a shout-out to the Wallace Firm, official personal injury law firm of the post-game show all season long. Have a personal relationship with Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. No one else I'd recommend. Let them help you get the W. No win, no fee. Phone number 844-844-WINS or visit wallacewins.com. I know one thing. Lakers found a way to get the W tonight. 102-96 the final score. When we come back, we'll hear from Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. We'll take more of your phone calls, And just make sure you stay right here on 710 ESPN, and we'll make sure to get you all the player interviews and get your reactions. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn. You ready? LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready? On LA's mega sports station.
Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny, is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
With Pizza Hut, everyone ends up winning. And with the new Double It Box, you get 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas in one box. So they can choose what they want, and you get the taste that you enjoy. Order the Double It Box for carryout or delivery at pizzahut.com. Prices, charges, and minimums vary. Delivery charge, not a tip.
LA's mega sports station, your Lakers station, 710 ESPN.
We want to embody what Kobe Bryant stood for and honor his memory.
The Mamba mentality's in full effect for the NBA Finals as the Lakers reach the final step on mission number 17.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Every time you put on purple and gold, you think about his legacy, you think about him and what he meant to this franchise for 20-plus years.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Just looking down at the jersey and Coach telling us is just a constant reminder that Kobe's with us and we kind of have his spirit in those jerseys.
The spirit of the Mamba lives in us all, every day, every step of the playoffs, and every big shot.
Rondo brings in Anthony Davis, 3 for the win. He got it! No time on the clock. It's over.
It's a shot Kobe Bryant would hit. It's a Mamba shot.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Share. Always get your to-go with the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's Lebron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
Points in the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint, locally owned, manufactured, and operated. And with over 1,300 Vista Paint colors, your perfect paint expression is at Vista Paint right now. And don't forget, visit VistaPaint.com for your discount color sampler. 34-32, Lakers points in the paint. By the way, last game, Game 3, they were outscored points in the paint by 18. That's a stat we're accustomed to the Lakers typically winning. And they did win it tonight. More importantly, 102-96, clutch shots by the Los Angeles Lakers, big-time plays by the Lakers. And it's not that the Miami Heat did anything wrong. I think it definitely helps to have vets. I think it definitely helps to have guys that have been there, done it before, and Lakers prevail 102-96, the final score. George in Atlanta. George, I appreciate you calling in. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show. Go ahead, bud.
Hey, Sheila, been a fan for a long time, but just wanted to say, like, the Lakers showed such true grit tonight. I mean, the Heat hit so many shots that hero layup over AD. You got Duncan Robinson.
Tough shots.
3.
Lucky shots.
You got Crowder hitting in the 3 from an Iguodala pass out of nowhere. And the Lakers still keep coming, like, nonstop. Like, it's just, they're here to win it.
Well, I'll tell you this, George. Thank you for calling in. This is the 4th time in the playoffs. This playoff run right here, everyone has played out the exact same as far as Game 4 goes. They were up 2-1 on Portland, 2-1 on Houston, 2-1 on the Denver Nuggets, and now 2-1 on the Miami Heat. And, you know, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know how key a Game 4 is when you're up 2-1. When you go up 3-1, John Ireland was saying it during the broadcast, Lakers are 9-0 in their history when they go up 3-1. And I know history, yes, there are teams that have come back. And I'm not saying that Miami's still not going to be dangerous. No, I think actually they will be dangerous. You got to figure out a way to close it out on Friday and then, you know, get the heck out of Orlando and let these guys enjoy what they accomplished. But at the same time, that's a backbreaker for the Miami Heat. This is a backbreaker for a franchise that was so close to tying it up 2-2, and now it's 3-1. Big-time difference right there. Richard in Las Vegas. Go ahead, Richard. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Hey, Allen. Just want to thank you there for having me on the show.
You got it.
Just wanted to bring up AD's big shot. I mean, this is what we brought him for. This is what he says that he wants to go and do, and he comes in through with that big three down the stretch. And just want to highlight.
How about his? By the way, how about his reaction? AD's reaction after he hits that shot, right? And then and go ahead. You were going to talk about Rondo.
I was down on Rondo the entire season, man. Playoff Rondo's real. We already seen it, but he's really just that veteran presence that we just needed, just doing the little things. And KCP coming big as well for us in this game. I just really wanted to go and highlight all the guys that are on the bench, all the guys that don't get all the spotlights and everything. They came through for us today.
Don't worry. I'll highlight them, Richard. Don't worry. No, I agree, man. It's great to see these role players come through. And, Rondo, I got a chance to talk to Jackie McMullen in the pregame show, and she had a great article on ESPN.com just talking about the journey for Rajon Rondo and at this point, again, in his career and a game away from an NBA championship. All right, let's get Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. Let's get his thoughts on the Lakers' 102-96 win and now just one game away from a championship.
About the defense, especially in the fourth quarter, what was working so effectively and making it difficult for Miami to get good shots?
Well, we're continuing to grow our understanding of the Miami Heat and their offensive system, which is very, very complicated and difficult to guard. So each game we tweak the scheme a little bit and just get a little bit stronger with what we're doing on that end, what we're trying to take away. Obviously, Anthony's matchup on Butler, was a big factor in our defensive efficiency. He did a great job. Jimmy's so great; it's hard to even slow him down. But AD did a great job, and it starts there. But you have to credit our guys' competitive spirit. I mean, they were flying around and just competing at an extremely high level on that end of the floor.
I know you expect to see LeBron and AD come up with plays down the stretch. What are your thoughts on KCP with those 5 straight points in crunch time there?
Huge. I mean, he's a confident young man. He's been a huge part of our success this year for what he does on both ends of the floor. And I was proud of him and Danny for having bounce-back games offensively. We need everybody to participate and contribute. And, we're a team-first team. Obviously we have our 2 big horses, but everybody's got to contribute that's out there. And proud of both of those guys for stepping up. But KCP down the stretch, big guts to take and make those shots that he took. And it was a huge 5 points, obviously.
Awesome. All right, we'll start with Kyle Goon.
Frank, you touched on it, but obviously AD taking on Jimmy the night, and then in those when AD was on the bench, LeBron were going to switch off of Jimmy. How do you feel like that set the tone for what you guys did in the second half defensively?
Yeah, set a great tone. I mean, that was a big part of our plan. Our adjustments from last game to this game is to try to keep those 2 guys on him as much as possible, and they rose to the challenge. They really stepped up. Obviously, it's one game. We still have work to do. But in tonight's game, those guys did a great job.
All right, Dan?
Along those lines, Frank, how did that decision to go with AD, especially knowing that Bam might be playing, how did that kind of idea come to be? And
it's what we study film for. You study the game tape, you see where you're getting hurt. And, there was ways that he was hurting us. Obviously, he had 40 points last game. So we identified ways that we can take certain things away from them and hopefully not get hurt too bad. It's what the playoffs are about, making adjustments.
Anybody else on this end? Rachel? Okay. We're back to you, Will.
All right, thank you. Andy Kamenetsky, please.
Hey, Frank. In the last few minutes of the game, after LeBron looked a little bit shaken up on that collision, the next 2 possessions you guys scored with either Rondo getting a layup or him setting up Anthony Davis. I don't think LeBron even touched the ball. Did those 2 possessions just sort of epitomize what you have in Rondo, just what he means at this type of stage?
Yeah, he's been huge for us all year. Obviously vital down the stretch. we've been telling Bron, like, when he needs a possession off offensively, that's a great action to go to. Rondo and AD in the pick and roll. And, allows him to just catch a quick blow. He had great trust. It's tough to trust in that situation that late in the game. But when you trust your teammates, you usually get rewarded. And Rondo made a great play. AD was huge. Made that big three. And, again, we're a team-first team. And we trust all our teammates. We trust all 5 guys on the court to make big plays. And that's what happened tonight in the fourth.
All right, I'll take 2 more, Frank. Leandro?
Coach, AD made 2 huge plays at the end of the game. What did you say to raise his level so much?
No, you don't have to say anything to Anthony Davis. He wants this more than anything. And obviously he's a great player, capable of imposing his will on a game on both ends of the floor. And you saw that tonight. You saw what he did defensively, and obviously that big three helped steal it, but was great on both ends all night.
All right, last one. Christos?
Hello, Coach. Congrats on the win. First of all, how important part of your game plan is Razor Rondo? Because he made some great plays, especially in the rebound and in assist about the game, and also the last 5 minutes of the game, defense was the Lakers' identity.
Yeah, well, Rajon is, again, a huge part of what we do. I've got a tremendous amount of trust in his abilities, especially, in this atmosphere, this deep into the playoffs when the games mean so much. He's been there before, and, I trust him, And then obviously the defense, I was very, very proud of our defensive performance tonight. Game 2 and 3 were not good enough, quite frankly, to win in the NBA Finals. And, we made some adjustments to our scheme. The guys raised their level from a competitive spirit standpoint and alertness standpoint. And, both were huge factors.
All right, that's Lakers head coach Frank Vogel says the defense AD played on Jimmy Butler. By the way, just to give everybody an idea from a Miami Heat standpoint, Jimmy Butler did have 22 points, 9 assists, and 10 rebounds. Also had 3 steals. I mean, listen, he's been great all series, but he shot 8 of 17 from the field, not 14 of 20 like he did in Game 3. He took 7 free throws, not 14 free throws like he did in Game 3. And 22 points is just a little bit more than half than what he had in Game 3. So, believe it or not, I did think the Lakers actually controlled him even with all those stats. Okay, more of your phone calls when we come back. 877-710-ESPN plus LeBron James. Stay right here. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn.
You ready?
LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready?
On LA's mega sports station. Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny, is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
With Pizza Hut, everyone ends up winning. And with the new Double It Box, you get 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas in one box. So they can choose what they want, and you get the taste that you enjoy. Order the Double It Box for carryout or delivery at pizzahut.com. Prices, charges, and minimums vary. Delivery charge, not a tip.
LA's mega sports station, your Lakers station, 710 ESPN.
We want to embody what Kobe Bryant stood for and honor his memory.
The Mamba mentality's in full effect for the NBA Finals as the Lakers reach the final step on mission number 17.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Every time you put on purple and gold, you think about his legacy, you think about him and what he meant to this franchise for 20 plus years.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Just looking down at the jersey and Coach telling us is just a constant reminder of that Kobe's with us and we kind of have his spirit in those jerseys.
The spirit of the Mamba lives in us all. Every day, every step of the playoffs, and every big shot.
Rondo brings in Anthony Davis. 3 for the win. He got it! No time on the clock. It's over.
It's a shot Kobe Bryant would hit. It's a Mamba shot.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Share every moment with us. The race for the ring at number 17 as we do it for Kobe.
710 ESPN.
Pull it back, Kobe.
All-time Lakers starting 5. Who's in your starting 5?
Am I now a part of that roster now? I could be a part of that Lakers.
Do whatever you need to do.
Okay, I have Magic, Kobe at the 2, LJ at the 3. I'm at the 4. Got to go with the most dominant ever, Shaq.
And your reaction on the Lakers line.
Always get your to-go with the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Once again,
here's Allen Sliwa.
Lakers basketball on 710 ESPN is brought to you by Metro. Metro continues to strengthen cleaning on our buses and trains with added services to help maintain social distancing. For your essential trips, learn more at metro.net/we're here for you. Lakers take care of the Miami Heat, 102-96. We all know the stakes coming up on Friday. So Lakers will not play tomorrow, nor will they play on Thursday. So 2 days off for the Lakers and the Miami Heat. Probably helps both teams just to get a little bit of extra rest. And then Friday, obviously, the big game. Lakers will have a chance to wrap up the series and get championship number 17. Let me squeeze in a couple quick calls here. Let's go to Brian, who's listening on the ESPN app all the way out in Nashville. Brian, thank you for calling in, bud.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. How you feeling tonight, Alan?
Feel all right. Feel okay. You know, it was a lot of ups and downs, but, we came through. I'm trying to talk like a coach here, Brian. I'm trying to. No, it was a great win, man. How are you feeling?
Man, I'm happier than a puppy with 2 Peters at a bark park. This game right here had me on the edge of my seat. This was the first time that I was sweating, screaming and swearing all the same time, because I feel like this was a pivotal game. Mm-hmm. The way these teams are playing so physical, it just feels like there was like an injury just about to happen. And especially when AD went down, when Caruso got shoved in the back, mm-hmm. I was just praying that he got back up. But, man, I just got a couple of questions. Do you think my first question is, do you think that this was LeBron James' best performance of the playoffs? I know the numbers are not going to suggest so, but I feel like it is. So I was going to see what you thought about that. And also, do you feel like the Heat are getting away with defensive 3 seconds with that zone they're playing? It feels like to me that they're hanging off their guy a little too long, and they're getting away with a little bit of that. So I'll get off here and listen to your thoughts, Al.
Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you, man. No, I don't think this is LeBron's best performance, and I'll tell you why. LeBron's been great. He's been great all postseason, but I think the 6 turnovers is what hurts LeBron in this game. Now, I know he's got the ball a ton, 28, 8, and 12, but LeBron's had performances where it's actually even better than that. Now, LeBron was still great tonight. I thought started settling a little bit for those 3-point shots towards the end of the game, but that's probably because he's getting tired. But defensively, I thought LeBron was great, but the anchor on defense was definitely Anthony Davis. As far as Miami getting away with some stuff, yeah, maybe you could say it. Maybe because they're playing zone so often, they're not calling those 3 seconds of the key on the defensive side. Let me squeeze in one more call, then I want to go to Kyle Kuzma. How about Jason in Las Vegas? Jason, thank you for calling in.
Hot dog eating champ Sliwa, what's up, man?
Don't remind me of that one, man. Don't remind me of that one.
That was fun to watch. Good for you. I got 3 quick points. I'll give it back to you and then go to Kuzma. One, big shout-out to Butler and Tyler Hero. That's quite a combo. I didn't realize how dangerous they would be together. Number 2, I don't think KCP's getting the love. If Avery Bradley had come to the bubble, KCP wouldn't have been asked to play so many minutes. And he's playing... it's like the KCP we thought we were getting a few years back. And then the last thing is Kuzma's not getting enough love on his defense. Every time he guards Butler, Kuzma's size really bugs Jimmy Butler. And so, anyhow, just KCP and Kuzma have been with us the longest and wanted to make sure they get the proper love.
No, I appreciate it. And listen, let me say this. KCP was fearless tonight. So, listen, it's not easy to want to take that shot in that predicament, that situation, wearing a Los Angeles Lakers jersey. And as far as Kyle Kuzma, I agree with you. You know, I don't think there is enough love going to Kyle Kuzma. I don't think on the defensive side. I mentioned this in the last game. I just talked about how I think Kuz is trying to make the right plays. Here's Kyle Kuzma following the game with Mike Trudell, courtesy of Spectrum Sportsnet.
All right, Kyle Kuzma, one win away from an NBA championship. Things were close down the stretch. I first want to ask you about KCP coming up and delivering for you guys down the stretch with those 2 big buckets.
Huge shots. You know, Kenny's built for this. You know, he's been through the mud all season, and you know, he's just a strong individual, and I'm happy for him. He made some big plays to really help us catapult a win.
Kyle, you got some points early in the game, and then I thought the defense really grew for you and the team going into that second half, especially on Jimmy Butler. What were you focused on in making things tougher on him than it seemed like it was in Game 3?
You know, we just try to keep him to his left hand as much as possible. You know, Game 2, he made some hell of a tough shots. And this game, I think we kind of played a little bit of the same defense, a little bit better for sure. You know, contesting his jump shots, making sure we didn't foul him, getting to the rim. So, you know, we did a good job.
All right, last thing, Kyle, I just want to ask you a big picture question. You've been there forever, right? The end goal is in sight now. What is it that you guys have to do to just stay that much more focused going into the game that you're going to try to close things out in?
We got to be hungrier than the Heat. That's plain and simple. If we come out in 2 days and we're hungrier than them, then we'll win.
All right, that's Kyle Kuzma right there, courtesy of Spectrum Sportsnet. So let me go to this real quick. I want to make a quick point here because when I hear we got to be hungrier, Michael Thompson, one of his keys, he does these keys every single game, and it's basically just referring to and it's talking about what he's expecting coming into the game. And that's really the only key that he paid attention to. He basically said it 5 times. The key is this. The key is you got to come out in those first 10 minutes. You got to try to take control of the game where Miami's got to be the one coming back. I mean, this was a incredibly close game. You know, the biggest lead for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight and for Miami, 5 points was their largest lead. Lakers had a 9-point advantage, but that was obviously right at the end. But for the most part, this was within a couple possessions, within literally just a couple possessions. Okay, let me take one more call here. Enrique in Santa Ana. Enrique, appreciate you calling in. Go ahead, man. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show. Go ahead, Enrique. You're on, bud. All right, let's go to Freddie in Bell. Freddie, you're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. So just 2 points. One, not only are we one win away from the title, but in my opinion, we're one win away from getting away from Danny Green, man. It's just very disappointing from the beginning of the season to now. Just I'm really dreading each time he's shooting the shot, the 3-point shot, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So that's one. And number 2, just something that people haven't been bringing up. Jeannie Buss, everything that she's gone through, and she's going to be, I believe, the first female, NBA owner to hoist that title. So she's well deserving of all of this, and I'm just happy for her and Pelinka, who's been
one to go, buddy. One to go. Thank you for calling in. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves because I've been doing that for the last couple of days, and I ate it in Game 3. So now we'll just say 1 to go from here. Lakers up 3-1. Let's hear from LeBron James. Here's LBJ, 28 points, 8 assists, 12 rebounds, and a steal for LeBron James.
Hey, LeBron, I just wanted to ask you about KCP down the stretch there. You grabbed the rebound off Jimmy's miss, pushing transition, see him in the corner. Just wonder, all the teammates you've had, you know which guys are going to be capable for those moments in the finals game. What you thought of that and his effort overall?
I think at the end of the day, if you're on the floor in crunch time, then I believe in you. Who's ever out on the floor with me, I believe can make plays. And tonight was a case in point of KCP. A guy who stays ready, who works on his craft. And like you said, that 3 in front of their bench was a huge 3. And obviously the drive at the end of the shot clock was 2 big back-to-back plays, in the fourth quarter where we needed to continue to score versus team.
I think it was after Game 2 that you made the comment that
it's not just enough to win the game. You guys want to be great. This game was one where defensively you guys were great, and then there was a lot of sloppiness early offensively with the turnovers. I'm just wondering if there's a certain point, like, does there come a point where you stop striving for that winning in a great way, and it's just enough to get the wins? Or is that not until...
Well, it's two different things. It's kind of two different things, two different points you're making. You never stop striving to be perfect or be great. And you know that a perfect game is not going to happen, but that don't mean you still don't strive to be as great as you can be every night. Now, every game has its own, adjustments and things of that nature. And, tonight was one of those games where we had to win on the defensive end and make some timely shots. But I think when you start thinking like, okay, well, I can't be great tonight, or we can't be great tonight, okay, we just have to figure it out, then you sell yourself short. And for me personally, I would never do that as long as I lace them up and put on a uniform. But I love what we did tonight.
Allison?
David Meneman.
LeBron, you guys took a 5-point lead to the fourth quarter and won the game, which made you, as a team, 56-0 this season, taking a lead into the fourth. What does that say about the makeup of your team, and do you take any pride in being on a team that can possess that stat?
Well, I think the fourth quarter obviously is winning time. You had 12 minutes to buckle down defensively with the lead, try to hold that lead, and then you have to execute offensively. And, obviously didn't know the stat, coming into tonight, but for us, that's just the mindset. We got 12 minutes. And if we have the lead, it's our job to outscore the opponent or hold them to less points as us, which is the same exact thing. And because if we win the quarter, we win the game. And that's kind of been our mindset all year long.
How good?
I know you talked about AD's great games and said that's who AD is, but in the last 2 days from where he sort of told us after Game 3, he felt like it could have been more aggressive to the guy he was after hitting that shot with 39 seconds left, beating his chest. What did you see in sort of his just getting back to that place where he can be the player that he can be?
He's a big shot maker in the shot clock, early in the shot clock, fourth quarter, first quarter, everything in between. And it was just a great setup by Doe. The possession before that, Doe was able to fake it like he was going back to him, carry himself into the lane, get a layup. And then, kind of the very next possession, he was able to, find him. And AD just kind of stared at the shot clock, knew it was late in the shot clock, and obviously trusted his shot that he works on consistently. So, big-time shot, big-time play for our team to be able to put the game away.
Sam?
Ron, Spo just said over here that this game being tight back and forth the entire time, that it came down to moments of truth. You guys won more than they did at the end. But when AD hits that shot and you're doing the Ric Flair and screaming a little bit, is there a different kind of satisfaction when y'all are so tight all night long and then you have kind of a breakthrough at that point?
Well, you kind of know momentum plays and momentum shots, depending on the score, the time, what's going on, within the last few possessions. They were going back and forth, with us, and going back and forth with them. Duncan Robinson hits one off the glass at the end of the shot clock for a three. Bam hits one off the glass, and, right there before we thought that he went in. Obviously, it didn't count. Hero hit some big shots. So we were Jay Crowder, me and Doe had a clean rebound. We both going for it. We smash each other in the paint. They kick it out to Jay Crowder. He hits a shot. So to be able to get some stops and then make a timely shot up 6, kind of if you make that shot, that 3 to put you up 9 at that point in time of the game, then you want to get one more stop, obviously, but it's you have the time on your side, and because it's a 3-possession game with 39 seconds, and most veteran ball clubs will be able to survive that. But just a big time play, big time moment, for not only For AD, before our ball club, before our franchise.
Scott?
LeBron, what is an extra day of rest mean in a very physical series like this? And does it matter more to you now than it used to?
No, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. I can go every other day if that was the case be, but I'm going to take full advantage of it. It gives me an opportunity to continue to get my body right, my mind, and everything in between. So I'll take full advantage of it, but it does nothing for me besides just getting a little extra day. I guess it does. I mean, I guess it does do a little something, but it's not needed for me personally.
Chris?
Ron, when I believe it's like the third game of this series where you guys have called for a challenge in the first half. Today it was the right, you got it overturned, the right call. But when do you as a player feel like it's time to, do a challenge so early in the game? Like, when do you weigh the pros and cons of doing it so early?
There's certain momentum plays throughout the first half. A certain rhythm that you have, either offensively or defensively, that if that call is made correctly, then you continue to stay in that zone. You continue to stay in that rhythm. And if the call is wrong, it can throw you off of your rhythm. So we've wanted to challenge some things in the first half that we just felt like, okay, even if we were right, maybe that's not the time. We still got our rhythm. We're good, whatever the case may be. But we felt like in that particular moment, we were playing some really good basketball. We was defending at a high level. And we knew for sure, we knew 100%, because I was guarding the ball. I knew for sure I didn't touch the ball. Hero just he tried to float it over me, and it kind of hit the backboard and hit the wire. So, Coach is always kind of like, 50-50 about it. And obviously as a player on the floor, you hate to tell your coach to challenge and you're not 100%, but I was for sure 100% about that play.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff. Jeff? No, Jeff. That's okay. Thank you.
LeBron, in mentioning fourth quarter being winning time, you played just about every second of the fourth quarter in this series. Given score, are you just predetermined that you're going to play all 12 minutes? And, what is it about the fourth quarter and your performance and a sense of urgency that might be just a little different than the previous three quarters?
For me, at this point in the season, I don't care about rest. I really don't. I don't care about sleep. I don't care about resting throughout the game. And obviously I come out the game. Coach has a rhythm and a rotation that we live by and we go by. But I don't care about resting, because I can rest in a week max if it happens to go there. I can rest for a month straight, which I won't do because of who I am. You guys know that. But if I can rest then. I can sleep 8 hours and get up and eat and then go right back to sleep if I want to.
All right, Morgan?
All right, that's LeBron James right there. By the way, talk about covering everything you could possibly cover. LBJ did. I love how he was talking about some of those clutch moments, and this is what veteran teams do. When we come back, let's hear from the best defensive player on the floor tonight, which was Anthony Davis. 4 block shots. You saw him guarding Jimmy Butler. Definitely had an impact on tonight's game. Lakers over the Heat, 102-96. 1 win away from an NBA championship. 1 win away from championship number 17. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn. You ready? LA's mega sports lineup. Are you ready? On LA's mega sports station. Start your day with me, Keyshawn. 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg. Greeny is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m.,
My guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
With Pizza Hut, everyone ends up winning. And with the new Double It Box, you get 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas in one box. So they can choose what they want, and you get the taste that you enjoy. Order the Double It Box for carryout or delivery at pizzahut.com. Prices, charges, and minimums vary. Delivery charge, not a tip.
LA's mega sports station. Your Lakers station. 710 ESPN.
We want to embody what Kobe Bryant stood for and honor his memory.
The Mamba mentality's in full effect for the NBA Finals as the Lakers reach the final step on mission number 17.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Every time you put on purple and gold, you think about his legacy, you think about him and what he meant to this franchise for 20-plus years.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Just looking down at the jersey and Coach telling us is just a constant reminder that Kobe's with us and we kind of have his spirit in those jerseys.
The spirit of the Mamba lives in us all, every day, every step of the playoffs, and every big shot.
Rondo brings in Anthony Davis, 3 for the win. He got it! No time on the clock. It's over.
It's a shot Kobe Bryant would hit. It's a Mamba shot.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Share every moment with us. The race for the ring at number 17 as we do it for Kobe.
710 ESPN.
Pull it back, Kobe.
All-time starting 5. Who you putting in that top 5?
All-time starting 5 for the Lakers. I'm going Magic at the 1, Jerry West at the 2, Kobe at the 3, myself at the 4, and Shaq at the 5. I mean, Shaq is so dominant, man. I love Kareem too, man. I can't even front on that, man. But Shaq's so dominant. It's we need a big because I'm playing the 4, so we need a big.
AD already put himself in the top 5.
Oh, AD put himself in the top 5.
And your reaction on the Lakers line.
Always get your to-go with the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Once again,
here's Allen Sliwa.
All right, let me set everything up here. So no game for the Los Angeles Lakers tomorrow. No game coming up on Thursday. So Game 5 actually is not until Friday. I think this is going to be great for the Lakers. I'm sure Miami can use some rest as well, but for the Lakers, we've got so many veterans on this team. Rajon Rondo, of course Lebron James, even guys like Dwight Howard, Markieff Morris, Anthony Davis. I'm sure all these guys are banged up right now or at least have some bumps and bruises. So to have a couple days off is going to be fantastic. Starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis will get things going until 9. And then I'm going to do a special show with Travis Rogers from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and we'll obviously react to this Los Angeles Lakers game. Dodgers with a 5-1 lead over the San Diego Padres right now. That game's still going on there in the top of the 7th, so we'll react to that as well. So we got a full day tomorrow talking about this Los Angeles Lakers win. Let's go out to Terry in L.A. Terry, I appreciate you calling in, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Yeah, I was making the point that the last time LeBron was in the finals, the problem was he didn't get any contribution for his other teammates. So sometimes you see a lot of us, they're like, oh, you want LeBron to take over. But that doesn't necessarily always work. And you see tonight, just like with all the last few years we was playing the Warriors got contributions from Clay, from Draymond, from Iggy, from Sean Livingston. Tonight, this is a perfect example of how the team helped, that you don't have to necessarily have LeBron have a 50-point game when you have KCP chipping in, when you have Kuzma chipping in, when you have Danny Green chipping in. That's the way to the championship now, especially when you're 36 years old, 17 seasons in. So it was a great win, and hopefully we can wrap it up on Friday.
Terry, it's some great points, and I appreciate you calling in. Look at Terry again, right to work there. You're right. Listen, when LeBron James is going up against the Golden State Warriors, even before Kevin Durant was there, the weapons that the Warriors had, the style that they played, yeah, that's championship basketball. But once Kevin Durant got there, I mean, nobody had a shot in the NBA. So what you're referencing to right now makes me think of Laker championships in the past. When Kobe and Pau Gasol were winning chips, Derek Fisher was chipping in. Lamar Odom was big. Andrew Bynum. Go down the list. of all the players, Meta World Peace, that had big-time contributions for the Lakers. You got to have a team effort. When it was Kobe and Shaq, I don't have to sit here and tell you guys what Rick Fox meant to this team and Robert Horry meant to this team. In the Magic, Kareem, James Worthy days, first of all, you got 3 Hall of Famers on the team, the Michael Coopers, the Michael Thompsons, the Kurt Rambis, Byron Scott. And I'm not trying to make comparisons of are those role players the same, better, worse, none of that. But when you have a game tonight, and I spent some time on this earlier, I love talking about 27 points coming from the bench for the Los Angeles Lakers, where Markieff Morris and Kuzma have 18 points apiece, where Caruso gets 7 points, is playing fantastic defense the entire game and running all over the place. Rajon Rondo and his impact and his high basketball IQ, and then obviously what KCP did and Danny Green shooting 50% from the field tonight, 25 points between the two of them, and KCP with those huge 5 points towards the end of the game there. Look, this is all we can ask for. All we can ask for is to get to this point, where you're now up 3-1, and you're a game away from an NBA championship. All we can ask for is that by the time you get to Friday, the Lakers understand just how close they are to championship number 17. And by the way, I don't think the Lakers are going to disappoint. I really don't. I said this in the pregame show. I genuinely felt like the Lakers were going to find a way to win tonight's game. And when you're this close and you got players, LeBron James will be grabbing his 4th NBA championship in his career. AD, by the time we get to Friday night or Saturday morning or whatever the case is, can have his first NBA championship, and he can get it with the Los Angeles Lakers in year 1 with the Lakers. Then you could go down the list. Dwight Howard's never won an NBA championship. It's been 11 years since he's back in the finals. Rondo got there at a very young age against the Lakers in 2008, won an NBA championship, and obviously hasn't won a championship since then. So this is a big moment for a lot of these Los Angeles Laker players, for the franchise, and they're just 1 win away. All right, the best player on the defensive side for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight was Anthony Davis. He had 4 block shots along with 22 points, 8 of 16 from the field, also 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. I have been looking forward to hear from Anthony Davis. Here's AD, 102-96, Lakers over the Heat.
What was the key defensively for you tonight? Where did you focus the most?
I had the task of guarding Jimmy Butler, and so I just tried to just be locked into him. I mean, we know that the last game, he kind of just took over and imposed his will on the game on both ends of the floor, and we just tried to give him a different look. Just tried to make him shoot over a contested hand, finish over, length at the rim, just make it tough for him. It was very easy for him game 3, and we just wanted to switch it up. But I just wanted to use a lot of my energy on the defensive end, just knowing that the other guys on the team were going to, make up that that absence for me on the offensive end. And the guys did a good job of making shots, making plays for our team, especially late game. But defensively, I think we were just better overall. We were locked into what we were doing. We still had mistakes, but some of the mistakes we had, we just covered for each other. Mistakes are going to happen, but we seem like we played with a little bit more sense of urgency tonight.
AD, LeBron said that the reason that he texted the guys about how this was a must-win tonight was that part of it was that he felt like this is one of the biggest games of his career. What was your reaction to sort of getting that message from him, and how much did you feel sort of the importance of getting this one?
Yeah, I mean, he sent that message, and guys already knew. I mean, we felt bad after losing game 3. We didn't play the way we were supposed to play, so guys were already on edge, coming into tonight. And then we see the message from, our leader saying it's a must-win, and he just left it at that. And guys knew coming in that we need to bring our A game. And like I said, we kind of already knew that we had to play a certain way, and that it was a must-win. I mean, we all season said we don't want to be a team that loses 2 in a row, and we have the ability to make that happen. And so we was already on edge about coming in and being ready to do whatever we had to do to get this win.
Ramona Shelburne.
Anthony, how much of you coming to Los Angeles, playing with the Lakers, was the opportunity to learn from LeBron James, but also you learn from guys like Rondo and how they bring moments like tonight out of you when you hit that three?
Yeah, I mean, Bron and Dell has been, the 2 guys who's really been in my ear a lot throughout these playoffs. I mean, these guys have been here. Bron been here numerous times, and Dell's been here as well. And those 2 guys have been in my ear, just helping me through the journey. First time here, playing on a big stage in LA. Those 2 guys have been very helpful for me, just keeping me, in the moment, not looking too far ahead. When I'm playing bad, not getting down. Body language, being a leader, all these things. So, the credit goes to them of the success that I'm having individually, because without them, no telling where I'll be. Those 2 guys have been on my shoulders about almost anything you can think of trying to help me become a champion.
Bells.
All right, Dave Fenwick.
Jimmy went 5 for 5 in the first quarter, and then I think he went 3 for 12 from then on, and there were a lot of possessions with you on him. How much of that defensive switch was on you personally? Was it decided by the coaching staff? And what's the feeling to make an impact on what LeBron called a must-win game with your defense?
A little bit of both. I mean, we just wanted to give him a different look, honestly, and we're asking a lot out of Bron. And so I just told Bron, I mean, I'll take him. You're coming down, and we want you to run a screen and roll, get in the paint, get foul, find guys, and get back, guard Jimmy. Like, I'll take some of that, that load off of him, and I'll guard him. And if I pick up a quick foul, then you take him. And then if Markieff come in, he takes him. But I wasn't in foul trouble tonight, and I was able to stay on the most of the game. But coming in with the mindset of knowing what he just did to us game 3, very easy for him. The floor was very open. He got what he wanted, and me coming in knowing that I was guarding him, I just wanted to take all that away and just make it difficult for him. And I just did that to the best of my abilities tonight.
All right, that's Anthony Davis right there. By the way, you're listening to KSPN Los Angeles. The beauty with what Anthony Davis is just saying right there, Jimmy Butler did whatever he wanted in Game 3, and the Lakers, I love that communication. No, why don't I go get Jimmy Butler? LeBron, you got to do so much for us offensively. Let me be the man on defense. And then if I get a foul, you come up on him. Markieff Morris started in the second half, so the Lakers, a collective effort. Jimmy Butler still had a good game, but Jimmy Butler didn't have one of the greatest games in finals history like he did in Game 3, and that's all you have to do. Just make sure that it's difficult for him and it's tough for him. All right, Lakers over the Heat, 102-96. Game 5, couple quick plugs here. So Game 5 is coming up on Friday. It's a 6 p.m. tip-off, so 2 days off for the Lakers and the Heat. 4 p.m. will be the pregame show with myself and Michael Thompson. Starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis will go 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. You know they're going to spend a lot of time talking about this Los Angeles Lakers win, plus the Dodgers, who are up 5-1. And then after that, Travis Rogers and I will go from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So stay here all day tomorrow. Max Kellerman after that, Mason and Ireland, of course, George Sedano and Elsie Granderson. So we're going to be here all day tomorrow, and it starts at 5 a.m. As always, we greatly, greatly appreciate you guys being a part of the show with us. And Lakers take care of business tonight. It's a Peace Out Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Lakers basketball tonight. What a night and what a win.
Lakers basketball on ESPN LA is sponsored by Cincoro Tequila, official sponsor of the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers basketball.
Brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For even more savings, check out jiffylubesocial.com. Brought to you by Mobile Wash. Need a car wash? Download Mobile Wash and have one of our professionals bring the car wash to you in minutes at home or work. Experience Mobile Wash. Car wash delivered.
Brought to you in part by Dignity Health. Safety first.